to get started in this business, right? I always tell simply, right? You need to be able to find deals. You need to be able to know how to manage and reposition deals, and you need to be able to either have the money or be able to raise the money and raise the capital. So you got 200 investors. You raised 70 million plus. Like, what advice would you give to somebody out there today that's like, hey, how can I find an equity partner?
Make sure that you can operate the deal. Even if you don't have your own property management, from an asset management standpoint, you need to be able to turn around the deals. Here's the thing. Even if you took away raising money, you can still double or triple your portfolio every single year if you know how to operate the deals from the equity that you can unlock from operating the deals. This doesn't have to be a sit and wait and impatiently get rich over 5 to 10 years. When you find the right deals, if you know what you're doing from an operational standpoint, you can turn those deals around in 6 months, 8 months, 12 months. You can unlock that equity. You don't even need anybody's money, right? Now, if you are trying to raise, which I'm doing both. I got deals that are going by myself, and I got deals that I'm going to continue to do both. I want to do deals by any means necessary, right? And so, and I'm to the point where I'm getting so much money coming in that I want to put this money to work. I don't want to. I'll go and blow my cash flow on a trip or something, but as money racks up, I want to put my own money to work into these deals too. So that's the first thing. Don't think you have to raise money. I think a lot of this is about syndication maybe today, but don't think you have to. Learn how real estate's a business and how you can operate it to reposition it, because you got to be able to do that anyways. If you can't operate or have no idea, right, how to hold the operation team accountable from an asset, because even if you're not operating, you're still the asset manager if you're putting people's money to work. And if it's not actually you doing the asset management, then that means you've hired someone, you have the infrastructure who can. Now, when it comes to getting your first investors and stuff like that, my first investors were close family and friends, right? I had 40, they had 40, right? And it just went from there. And then, then word spread, right? And I'm a big believer in you need to get in the rooms. Why did I pay the $90,000? Because I wanted to get in the room for $90,000 for 4 days. It was worth it, trust me. It was worth it. You need to get in the rooms. You need to share your story. What have you done? What are you doing? What are you going to do? And then ask a question, and then you be responsible for the follow-up. No one should remember you no matter what, because you're not that special. I'm not that special. No one's going to remember me. I don't have any business cards on me, ever, because I'm not handing them out. And maybe that's bad. Maybe I should be. But I know if the follow-up is in my court, I'm going to do my job, because I'm going to call you even if you report me to the do not call people. Even if you hang up on me and say, take me off your list, all right, I'll take you off my list. I got another list right over here for you. Excel spreadsheet number 2. Juniper Square database number 2, right? And maybe I just won't contact them for 4 months. And I've done that over and over again, and I give them a break. I call back and I kind of make a joke. I'm like a dog with a bone, Rick. And they kind of laugh a little bit. And now I start building a relationship, right? Whether it's buying a property or an investor or whatever. So when someone's on my list, I never take them off. But share your story and get their contact information, because they're not gonna follow up with you. You're not that important. They'd rather watch the Packers get their butt kicked on Thursday Night Football than call you, right? I'm a Packer fan, so that hurt last night. Damn. But be in control of the follow-up. Be in control of the follow-up, because that will pay you millions and millions of dollars if you can follow up.
Okay, so 2 things that I want to cover. But one, this winning wealth thing that we're doing is it's not just about real estate syndication. That's just one avenue, right? It's about building wealth. Wealth, health, and happiness is kind of the whole mantra. But syndication is one avenue to that. But that goes into kind of my next question. Justin's obviously a quintessential.
And I'm all about syndication. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
But there's more than one way to do it.
For sure. And so some of the other ways you're doing it, you're a quintessential entrepreneur. I think you started a painting company to kind of integrate into your business.
It failed. Because what I should have done is because I just closed it down. I'm like, this is not, I closed a $30 million deal, and then something came across my desk about someone complaining about a $4,000 paint job. Dude, we'll fix your paint job. You don't even have to pay us, whatever. But I just couldn't do it anymore. So what I should have done, instead of starting it up, I should have found a painting company that was already doing $5 to $10 million a year and bought that. Right? That's what I should have done looking back for where I was already at in my career. Right now, if I was just starting real estate, it probably would have been fine. But and we probably would have figured it out. But I'm like, this is doing it was doing $1.2 million a year. Someone's like, you're gonna sell it? I'm like, no, I'm gonna close it down. It's not worth anything, because me as an owner still was in it every single day. If I'm in it every single day as an owner, it's not worth it. Who's paying for that? I mean, it wouldn't have been worth my time.
Yeah.
Shut it down. So punch in the face, right? But I learned something. What I learned, well, I just told you. I at that point in time in my career, this was in 2020, I should have just freaking found a $5 million, $10 million a year painting company, because then at that point I would have had the resources, aka money, to pay someone really well to be on the front lines, to oversee the projects, to lead the team.
And buying businesses is a great way to accelerate your way to wealth too, right? I think
for sure.
Your wife buy a business or start one recently, a dental?
Yeah, she's a dentist, and so she was an associate for 10 years, and she opened up a practice a year ago, and she's working on getting the second one going right now.
Boom.
And there's a third one that she might buy. So my dad is a veterinarian by trade, and they had 3 clinics, and I bought into that with some of that direct sales money back in 2012. Bought another location, we bought a third location, bought some of the real estate that went with it. 2016, we merged with 16 other clinics across the country. I was able to put in more money at that time. I helped with acquisitions and kind of just did whatever needed to be done. I was the youngest dude in the room. I was 27 at the time, so I learned a lot. I kept my mouth shut a lot, and I just did what I was told and, hustled and, whatever. And so I got some upside in that company. It sold to a subsidiary at KKR in late 2020.
That's a big dog, by
and
the
it
way.
was my investment like 12x. And by the way, I still have, like 5x my initial investment rolled forward in that deal because we sold and got some cash and got some stock. So that's going to sell over the next couple of years. So yeah, I mean, it's I agree with what you just said right there. I mean, there's a million ways to play the business game, and it doesn't just have to be one thing. But you also shouldn't get spread so thin where it's like you got so much going on and you can't focus to really drive home and build something like that's substantial, right? And then once you've built something substantial, now you can look at doing more things. So I try to keep it pretty narrow. I mean, and I don't do anything like, going forward right now, obviously with KKR buying that company and everything, I don't do anything there day to day, right? So it's just an investment rolling forward. So today, it's the real estate. And it's I have a mastermind that's coming up the end of November, 3-day mastermind in Madison. So I do some coaching. I love to see other people succeed. I mean, why do I want some of our employees to be millionaires? And my content creator who's here today, he's like, man, the next six years, you think I can be a millionaire? I'm 20. He just turned 24. By the time I'm 30, I'm like, yeah. He's like, you don't think it's unreasonable? I'm like, yeah, it's unreasonable because I'm an unreasonable person. And anyone that's successful is unreasonable. The CEO of my management company, we go at it sometimes, like that. She's like, you're being unreasonable right now. I said, good, because average people are reasonable. I don't want to, I need to be unreasonable. I need to be more unreasonable to be successful, right? I can't be reasonable. People just waking up in the morning, rolling over, and all they can barely do in the day is put their pants on. They're reasonable people. I'm not going to be reasonable ever. And then I go to my CEO and I tell her, look, you're calling me unreasonable. The reason you're in that spot, CJ, is because you're unreasonable too. Being unreasonable is a good thing. So I told Danny, I'm like, no, it's not reasonable. It's unreasonable. But that's why, that's what you have to be if you actually want to go and be a millionaire by the time you're 30. You got to do unreasonable things and be called unreasonable.
Absolutely. I love that. I'm getting fired up just talking about it.